Hi, this is Doug Hansen, and this is the third video in a series of how to buy a new construction home in Grand Rapids. Again, my name is Doug Hansen. I work with Five Star Real Estate, been selling real estate now for 26 plus years. And I have Dann Mulder.
With the Lake Michigan Credit Union.
And how long have you been in
Lending? I've been lending for over 30 years.
30 years, long time. So you got quite a few years here. Let me ask you a question. How long does it take to get a construction loan? And are there any pitfalls along the way of getting a construction loan?
Typically a construction loan takes just a little bit longer to put together because there are more moving pieces with a construction loan than there is just a purchase. Typically on a purchase it takes about 30 days. With a construction loan it may take 45 to 60 days in order to put it together, simply because of the extra pieces. Such as the sworn statements and the plans and so forth, and making sure that everything is in place.
Excellent. Quick question, how does LMCU, Lake Michigan Credit Union, handle upgrades? If a buyer wanted to, instead of having a linoleum, put granite countertops in, and there's an extra $10,000, $15,000 in costs. How do you guys handle that?
Well, typically we're going to look at the plans that they have and make sure that they have sufficient reserves and so forth when we put the loan in place. So once the loan is already in place and the construction is going on, and then they do want to do upgrades at that point in time, typically we'll have them have to come to the table with any upgrades that they want to do at that point. But again, that could be covered if they have a current house to sell. They'll have additional funds that they'll be able to put toward the project.
Excellent. Last question here from Lake Michigan Credit Union's point of view. What happens if there's a problem with the house not appraising? Let me interject something. A couple years ago I had a buyer that was going to build a new house, and where I had taken, where he was getting his mortgage originally, they did not do the appraisal up front. In the interim, he had another $15,000, $20,000 worth of upgrades. And at the end, they went through and they got it appraised, and it didn't appraise. So what had happened is we took the buyer over to Lake Michigan Credit Union, and we got it approved.
Well, typically what happens, number one, we don't usually have too many problems with appraisals because from the very beginning, we will have an appraisal done before the house is even constructed. We'll take the plans and specs, look at the type of construction, and the appraiser will put together an appraisal for us and compare that to what the construction costs are going to be. And they'll compare the house that's going to be built to other houses that are already in the area of similar construction and size and so forth. So typically we have an appraisal right up front before you even start the construction so that we don't run into those issues.
Very good. That's it on this video. Our next video is how to buy a new construction home in Grand Rapids if you still own a home. I'm Doug Hansen.
And Dann Mulder.
We'll see you next time.